Hello and welcome. This is Cherie with Rehashfiber, and today I've got a great project for you. If you have coarse wool, I'm going to show you how you can turn it into something great and very usable. And then also at the end of the show, I'm just going to do a little follow-up to the custom labels that I had made and show you what I did with them. All right. It all starts with my friend gifting me a lot of coarse, rough wool. I like to call it itchy wool, so from here on out you may be hearing that term. I had bags and bags of it. Now, I love natural fibers, and I love the adventure of when the pieces of the puzzle come together, that something great can be made. And that's what happened. I had a flyer come in the mail of a rug, and it sparked this project in my mind. So for working with itchy wool, I wanted to make it fun and not a burden because it doesn't feel as great as the soft wool. I needed it to happen quickly and yet still have a great product in the end. So I'm going to walk you through each step of that, and I'm going to call it the opposites. Because you know, when you're working with fine wool, you're very careful, you do things properly, you get it all prepped just right without harming the wool. This is like girls gone crazy, okay? And it's fun. So I took all my itchy wool and ran it through the picker. Very rough. Who cares? You break it, so what? Whatever. Just get it through the picker. Step one, no worries. Step two, take it to the drum carder. Run it through one time. No more than that. We're not looking for a perfect bat. We're just trying to get it organized for spinning. So one time through the carder. Hopefully you have a big spinning wheel to handle the big bulky yarn, because that is what we want to make. A big bulky singles. We're not going to apply it, and we're not going to make it perfect. We are just trying to get a big bulky singles strand. Let it be lumpy and bumpy and have fun with it. Get it done. Now, when you wash it, go ahead, soak it in hot, rinse it in cold. You want it to felt just a little bit. So again, you see the opposites. Dyeing it. I did not worry about measuring anything. I took the colors from the can, a little bit in a cup with my vinegar and water, put it in the pot, and I got my great, brilliant colors that were just the straight up colors from the can. And it was fun. No measuring, just quickly getting it dyed. As soon as the color struck, I took it out of the hot water, rinsed it in cold once again to get that singles felted. There we go. I had a bin of beautiful, bulky yarn ready for the project. Now, that flyer I saw in my head was a very colorful rectangular rug. So I'm using one of my favorite crochet stitches called the woven stitch. I like it because it's not super holey. You're always working in the row below and there are no holes. So I think it's super for a rug. Right now, I'm just going to take you to how I got it started and how you do the woven stitch to make this rug. These are the supplies that you will need for your project, for making the rug. You need all of your glorious yarn. Any scissors will do that can cut that. Your big crochet hook to match the size of the yarn that you make. And then I joined my ends with a felting needle and the mat and just joined them together. All right, for my demonstration, I'm just going to make a sample size. What I actually did for the project is I laid a yardstick out on the table and I chained 2 feet worth, which ended up being 52 chains. Now for the woven stitch pattern, you do want to chain an even number, so that worked out great. Right now I have a much smaller number that I chained on. Now we're going to go for the build on effect where you're building on in a square. For my rug, it's a rectangle. We've done our chain. To get started on your first row of the woven stitch, you're going to work into the second chain from the hook. So there's 1, there's 2. You're going to do a single crochet. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next chain And you're going to go into this one and do a single crochet. And you're going to chain one. You're going to do that all the way across. You're going to skip, do your single crochet. Chain all the way to the end. All right, I made it all the way to the end. Here is what you're going to do with the end parts. Because we are not going to go back and forth, we're going to go around. You have to give yourself a corner. So what I did in that very last stitch is I did my single crochet and my chain one, but now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it back in that stitch. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and chain another one so that it gives me enough corner spacing. I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to do my single crochet, and then I'm going to chain one. Now I'm to the other stitch. This is the corner stitch that I want to make. So I'm going to do that double thing again. I'm going to go into it. I'm going to single crochet, chain one, then I'm going to chain one more for the corner. And then I'm going to go right back into the same stitch and do the single crochet and the chain one. Now I can head down the other way just like I did. It's a little funky because you're still working into that same first chain that you made. And so you know what you just got to do is just find the holes that look like it'll work for you, okay? Because you're actually working in the bottom of that chain. So we have to start with this. We're going to skip this and we're going to single crochet into this. You know, it kind of follows suit with the whole project. Everything's just a little bit different than normal. Okay, we're going to skip this one. We're going to single crochet, chain one, do it again. Skip one, we're going to single crochet, chain, chain. We're back to this corner again. We're to the beginning and we have to develop our corners on this side. So I'm going to chain one more. I'm going to go back into the same stitch. I'm going to single crochet and chain. I'm going to go to the other and develop this corner over here. Just going to find the hole to go into. I'm going to single crochet, chain, chain one more for the corner, go back into the same hole, single crochet, and chain. Now I'm ready to head back down the other side. So you can see our rectangle is getting started. Now what's going to happen is you're going to need to build on to these rectangle ends. They're going to grow. So you're going to get down to the end, you're going to do your corner stitch, then you're going to do one of your regular stitches in here. You're going to do your single crochet and chain to the next corner. Same with this end. As you're building, you're going to just keep, it will build and you will have increased stitches on the ends that you will then be doing your single crochet, chain, skipping, going over, and it will grow and grow. All right, so I'm going to take you on to my rug so you can see where it's going. I'm going to run you through the corners there and how the ends have grown so much, and I will show you how I'm joining all this yarn. First of all, color planning, you can do whatever you want. That initial picture that inspired me had lots of white in it. It had these kind of colors in it from what I could tell, and those are the colors I dyed up. And I just don't want too much repetition, and I do want a lot of white, so I'm just swapping out colors quite often. And then as I go along, I kind of look and see, well, what was not used in this area recently, and then I'll use it. So to carry on now, I think we're going to go to a navy. And right now I can just show you how I'm joining all of this. When you have wool, and especially this coarse wool, it felts easily and quickly. Take it and needle felt it together. Try not to hit your fingers. I've done that a couple times. You just do this back and forth a few times. This helps join these fibers together. Now in this woven pattern, it works in really well because of you just the yarn going over each other so many times, you don't really even see these joins. It's just fine. All right, see how tough that is? Oh, I don't like that bump there. Let's do this. Okay. We're going on with this very, very fun woven stitch. What I showed you with that little demo piece was just your first row where you have to set up your spaces that you're going to single crochet into. So after you've done the first row, which is around each side, when you start down your second row or step 2, now it is easy, smooth sailing the entire way because all you're looking for is the space and you're going to single crochet into it. So it's a single crochet, a chain 1. See, I love all this crazy bulkiness. It's great for a rug. Next space, single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1. You got it. I'm going to take it all the way to the corner and then I'll show you how my corners are looking now as we're further along in the project. All right, so I worked all the way up to the corner and you can see here I'm to the corner because the previous round there's 2 stitches in there, 2 single crochets. So that's your big reminder that you're back to the corner. I'm going to go into here, doing my single crochet, chain 1. When you're at the corner, chain an extra, so it's a total of chain 2. Go back into that same hole, do a single crochet, chain 1, and start down the next side. You see, this is my end. And you see how much it's grown, little by little. It started with this, and this is where I worked around, and then had it grow and grow all the way until my edge is now probably 2 feet long. So we're just going to keep on going with this, and I'm going to show you the finished item. All right, everybody, here we have it. The rug is complete. I nearly used all the yarn in that bin and it made the size of rug that I wanted, so it worked out perfectly. It was very satisfying to use up all that coarse wool and now have something I can walk on, and it feels very pleasant to the feet. Okay, moving on. A couple of episodes ago, I talked about the Dutch label shop. My mom had asked that I have some labels made and then I put them into her garments and things that I've made her because she had so many now over the years, she wasn't able to keep track of what was what from whom. So I did that. I found the Dutch label shop and you can upload images there. So I uploaded my logo and then I went to visit my mom. We pulled out all her things and I sewed the labels in. Now in the past episode, I had asked about a pen to write on them because I was weighing back and forth. Do I have it printed with the dates or do I write it on there? And the ink was running from the permanent marker. So I did get the advice of using an archival pen. I have not purchased that yet. When my mom looked at it all, she's like, just put the labels in. She didn't want dates written on there. She was good with that. So I'm still debating on that because the less you have made, the more they cost. But I do love the Dutch label shop and I will figure that out. So I just wanted to let you know how that all worked out. Oh, but the good tip she gave me, she's a quilter. She said, just use, 2 little strands of floss that's light gray. That is the color that your eye does not pick up, so that I could just keep on going sewing them in and not trying to color match with what the garment was. And it worked out perfect. I used the light gray for most of those labels and that worked out really well. All right, everyone, if you're enjoying this show and would like to help support it, You can go over to Patreon. You can find that by going to my website, rehashfiber.com, supporting members. Any amount you give helps keep the show going. And as a bonus to people that give, I upload each episode there so you can watch it ad-free. If you have coarse wool lying around and you're not quite sure what to do with it, this is a great way to turn it into something very useful, which actually feels very nice on the feet. All the processes are quick and fun. Then you have your great bulky yarn to make your project. So happy crocheting your coarse wool rug, and thanks for watching.